probably cashing out my figures. Swagging in this bitch, they see me acting different pictures. But baby, I'm a masterpiece, it's written like a scripture. Position like a fiction, stay whipping with the mixture. And I'm a money getter, drinking bitches like it's liquor. And shorty wanna kiss me, but I don't wanna kiss her. She wanna wipe me down to the ground like a frisker. I'm riding in a Fisker and flying to official. VVS is on my neck, I mean so shine like a mister. I'm blind with the missile, but I'm fine with the pistol. I'm right about to go, feel like I'm dying just a little. I'm all up on my tunes, out of space when we jam. And I will never lose, cause I race when we land. So what am I to do when you hate what you can? I follow all the rules, cause I am what I am. And I'm too fucking fresh, I just count check after check. And shorties want it next, so I'm calling neck after neck. And ain't no claiming best when I know it, nigga, I'm blessed. So tell them other niggas there ain't no being me yet. Cause it's swing, baby, and I'm just being frank, I'm just being that nigga living up in the bank, I'm just being that nigga twisted up in the safe, counting everything cause I never had it today, Look, eyes closed, take the bait, blindfold, I can't relate, cause I know to never fake. Cause when it comes back around, niggas start to hate. I'm like a different type of nigga. Walking in the mall, probably cashing out my figures. Swagging in this bitch, they see me acting different pictures. But baby, I'm a masterpiece, it's written like a scripture. It's written like a scripture. But baby, I'm a masterpiece, I act in different pictures. I'm swagging in this bitch, I'm probably cashing out my figures. I'm walking in the mall, I'm like a different type of nigga. Swing.
She got the perk and the ecstasy. Told her to pass her right next to me. Killing her soul with the melodies. Killing your soul with the memory. Beat up the track, it's a battery. Stance on her back, it's a battery. Shorty just wanna be bad at me. Told that bitch, come get the bag with me. Feel I'm Montana when I'm crushing on beats. Feel I'm Santana when I'm flooding on the streets. Google bandana, McMahon, I'm a beast. Google my nana, keep guns with the beats. Auction these niggas, I feel like I own. Sauce in the backwood, I feel like a stone. She a rock jean cause her ass too fat. We don't pop beans cause the lights too fast. Man, I'm just capping, the X is the best. Ran out the house cause it burning my chest. Drink up the water cause I needed to flex. Pick up the quarter cause I needed to rest. I ain't that nigga that you could just stand. Pull up with scissors and cut out your vein. Patch it up legal cause buddy a lane. Rack it up people cause money the game. My savior cause mama don't listen. She don't wanna talk cause my papa a pissin'. Killing my father in my dream cause I miss him. Nah, I'm just kidding, he sleep with the fishes. She got the perk and the ecstasy. Told her to pass her right next to me. Killing her soul with the melody. Killing your soul with the memory. Beat up the track, it's a battery. Stance on her back, it's a battery. Shorty just wanna be bad at me. Told that bitch, come get the bag with me.
I'm in the hills in a mansion. Yeah, you know the bitch dancing. Yeah, you know the move twerking. Yeah, you know the bitch twerking. Pop me a perk 30. Driving no license, I'm dirty. Drinking and leaning, I'm swerving. Fell asleep at the light. Got a spot down the street. Yeah, it's jumping like Mike. Yeah, you know I'm moonwalking. So I'm feeling like Mike. Yeah, you know niggas killers. Yeah, they looking like Mike. Baby, you suck too much dick, so I cannot wipe. It's a vicious cycle. Yeah, you play the game, don't play no games. Yeah, the chop got your name on it. Shorty got aim, better smoke, you don't really want it. Used to play basketball, now I'm just a ballaholic.
She got the perk and the ecstasy. Told her to pass her right next to me. Killing her soul with the melody. Killing your soul with the memory. Beat up the track, it's a battery. Stance on her back, it's a battery. Shorty just wanna be bad at me. Told that bitch, come get the bag with me.
Catch me dancing like a Michael Myers. Roll up just to get higher. I've been rolling like some tires. Nice sight, new views, I might get flyer. Spoil you with spoiled milk, that's a tad inspired. With the homies, we hanging like vampires. The whole gang, the empire, let them know like umpires. Spitting fire, peep the wire. Lots of pride up in the jungle, we ain't lying. But we lions, fly like Zion. Man, I'm rising, horizontally flying. Two horizons, 2020 and a time. Like the Mayans, learn from MJ, learn from Bruce Lee. Peep the king of comedy, it's all about timing. Ask the kid why I been rhyming. Get served quick, I'm hot like ramen. Back on my bullshit like I'm Rodman.
Back on my bullshit like Rodman, yeah. Put me up for election. Moving with my campaign, true to the direction. Lived through 2 recessions, minding the depression. Feelings can't express them, I need love and affection. Yeah, shawty bad like we. Motherfuckers mad, it can't do it like me. Got the whole gang in the club getting tea. Whole floor looking slow, but they ain't up to my speed now. This is Gino.
Yeah. Hey. Hold up. I'm back on my bullshit like I'm Rodman. Game day, I'm Jordan, bitch, I'm ballin'. Got the money and the power and respect. Niggas talk that talk, but like Nike, they in check. I got this style that I'll K a little chest. Always got it on me just in case I'm feeling pressed. But it's all good, I'd rather smoke a blunt and have vicious roll of wood. Liquor in my Sprite, this ain't no fucking goop. In the hood like when my phone let me call the troops. 6 for 6, my team winning in a fucking loop. This dynasty created in our motherfucking youth. But I just wanna hang with my hood rap friends. My bro got his hands on a brand new Benz. I just met a baddie, she my brand new friend. And she just brought a friend, I'ma break 'em in.
Yeah, put me up for election. Moving with my campaign, true to the direction. Lived through 2 recessions, minding the depression. Feelings can't express them, I need love and affection.
Sound rally, bitch. Shout right to New Orleans.
To YCB.
From New Orleans to Chicago, we problems. Call these folks up, I call them all the partners. Understand, I'm the man, I'm a problem. Boy, man in that van, he play with choppers. Don't got money, little nigga, better make some. Late nights, take flight when the taste comes. One wall, shut off breezy, better say some. Call a tucker to the scene, he'll face some. Cage your bitch at my name, ain't that many. He a stain, great at semi. Don't approach me, I ain't friendly. I don't even chase them hoes, cause them hoes I get plenty. Said he want a feature, then that money better send me. Where's bank ass niggas out records, shout out real. Free my niggas out of jail, they cause hell in them cells. Can't send them money, then you better send them mail. Can't send them money, then you better send them mail. New Orleans to Chirac, different lingo, man, that's it. Y'all say 12, we say dicks. Y'all got moms, we got sticks. Wrong there, if you a stank. Wrong here, then you a lick. But I'm bummy bitch niggas, y'all call proofers, we call flunkies, bitch.
First I ride to Orbis, we got problems. I call her Luke and then you know that folks gon' solve them. Shout out Fat, cause I know that bitch gon' shake some. And if you a flock ass nigga, then we gon' stay young. I'm out here ballin' like hard and fly like a rocket. And we like Glocks, little nigga, no pocket rockets. I'm steady Joseph the Broofers, I need to stop it. And I ain't trying to talk if it ain't about profit. Different lives, different days, I can't believe what niggas say. How you lose your homie and you let it niggas, this is great. Rest up to my niggas, but forever they gon' live alone. I'm a young bull, I chase the cheddar, don't know what you want. Trapping on my Android, I don't fuck with my iPhone. He say he a day one, well I still got my eyes on him. Never been a foe, that's the code, then I'm sticking to it. Shout out KHO, and no, them bitches really shoot. Murder race so high, I don't know which city gon' claim that bitch. Me and Foden ran the hoe, she pregnant, we don't claim that bitch. Folks they call the body, but you know that we ain't claim that hit. Chirac, we say what you want and don't say what's in the bitch.
From New Orleans to Chicago, we problems. Call these folks up, I call them all the partners.
Mickey C on the beat, you dig?
I only wanted Dito made it.
Days so hard without
without her. Hard to make it through 'em. I slave away for your touch, but when you're here, it's worth it. Ooh, on my mind all the time. Ooh, she's slim and thick at the same time. Ooh, she grinding harder for her dollar. I wanna give her a better life. You move around, but take your time, 'cause I'm gonna take you downtown. It's something you want more than you know. I'm gonna be the one to hold you and take you on. Let's go downtown. I'm drowning knee deep in your waters. I wanna show you new horizons. Take me on and we'll make it
Well, if we going downtown, let me tell you what's the move. Yeah, we can hit Navy Pier, I'm thinking walk the avenue. I'm flying in a parachute, I'm finna handle you. Drowning in your love, I'm swimming up, I need a diving suit. I'm moving like an animal, getting back to the cabin. Radical when I spit it, lyrics talking is casual. I am living good, baby, know my love is magical. Let's just walk the city, skyscraping at your actual love. Steady swimming knee deep, haters can't compete. They don't wanna speak when we on the scene. We lead, got into the streets, doing everything. I need you inside my life, it's like I never think. When you talking to the man, know the name is the Swank. I'm Big Bank, out with Vino, baby, what did you say? Look at your face, there's something you don't see every day. I'm running the race to get you, baby, I'm on the chase.
It's so hard without her, hard to make it through 'em. I slave away for your touch, but when you're here, it's worth it. Ooh, on my mind all the time. Ooh, she's slim and thick at the same time. Ooh, she grinding harder for her dollar. I wanna give her a better life. You move around, but take your time, 'cause I'm gonna take you downtown. It's something you want more than you know. I'm gonna be the one to hold you and take you on. Let's go downtown. I'm drowning knee deep in your waters. I wanna show you new horizons. Take me on and we'll make it happen. What you do with him? How could you do it to me? We said we'd have respect, and they were part of the list. You moving so gross. Said you had class, I don't see it. Saved you from dark holes. Now I'm the one who is needy. Your touch don't feel right. No more, I've been knowing that you sneak away late night. And dude ain't even a match for you, but you spite me. Been bitten, you are so icy. Can't look at you nice. My trust been crushed by you rightly. Said I'm done, 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 done. Miss me with apologies, I'm numb, 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 numb. Told me those is were behind you, no. No, 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 no. Suddenly what we said just don't mean a thing. Openly you make your mess and post to IG. Bad thing, pretty bing with hearts on a string. Swing your hips and move your lips so hypnotizing. Suddenly what we said just don't mean a thing. Openly you make your mess and post to IG. Bad thing, pretty bing with hearts on a string. Swing your hips and move your lips so hypnotizing. So hypnotizing. With hearts on a string.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo.
There we are.
Yo.
Them boys is back on the radio. How y'all doing?
We back.
Okay, ladies and gents. After a long another pre-show setup of madness and craziness,
I blame mine on CTA Public Transit.
Oh yeah, no,
They had these buses in a conga line coming down Chicago Avenue today. There was 4 of them right in a row.
Conga line.
I swear to God, I was sitting at the bus stop waiting for 30 minutes, and then I see 3 just hop out, and I was like, are they all dancing together or what? It was crazy. The one time I leave my house like 5-10 minutes, I left a little later than I usually left today, and I was sitting there, and I got to the bus stop, and I was like, all right, 1 in 10 minutes, I'll be a little late, still get on time, still be there in a good time, and then ended up being like 30 minutes till the bus came. It was madness. There was like 30 people waiting at the bus stop. As soon as one bus came, everyone sprinted to that bus. It was just hectic. Gotta love the public transit in this city. Gotta love it.
It's got its ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it got you here, and we're appreciative that you're here, Boss Dan.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it.
Absolutely. Well, this is Boss Dan.
Hey.
This is your boy G Money G Note.
Mm-hmm.
We are Northside Plugged. We're back again for another beautiful Thursday. Fantastic. Sorry for the slow start, ladies and gentlemen, but we appreciate you for your patience and being here. So we have special guests in the building. We've got Evie or is it Eve? You sound say Eve, right?
Go by both.
Either one.
Eve as a whole. EVE, Earn Vision Entertainment.
Excellent.
Earn Vision Entertainment. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, there they are. Excellent. So we've got.
What's good?
Y'all want to introduce yourselves? I'll make it easier.
Go left to right.
Yeah, I go by Dito. Eve Dito.
All right, I go by Eve Vino.
And then I go by Eve Cujo.
Excellent, gentlemen. Well, we appreciate you being here, and we're going to have an excellent episode tonight of Northside Plug. Get into everything that is about you guys, your come up, who you are, and everything in between.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the invite. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Of course, we're happy to have you guys.
Absolutely. No, it's the beauty of hip hop. Happy birthday, hip hop.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Brings us together, you know. Dito, can you speak real quick? I just want to make sure.
Yo.
Can y'all hear him?
No, I don't
Not
think
really,
so.
no.
Okay, for sure. We're gonna. That's strange. I don't know what's going on with that microphone. Okay, we're gonna figure that out. We may need to share a microphone in the meantime. Well,
We can do this. Can I turn this real quick?
Yeah, no worries.
You could give it to
Yo.
Yeah,
Sorry about that, ladies
Alright,
and
we
gentlemen.
game.
All the more issues over here on Northside Plug continue, but it's all good. Hey, check it out. We got all the viewers and listeners slowly pouring in, so shout out to y'all.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely. We got Chris Fonseca in the comments there. Hey, let's get it. Life of Swank. Shout out Swank Sinatra in the building. Gang, live baby. And then shout out Victor. Shout out Amanda Curry. Also shout out saying gang. It's a lot of gang-ish going on over here in the building tonight. So yeah, no, we're here. So Evie, do we want to just break that down a little bit? We'll break down the name, and maybe how you guys got together, and we'll go from there.
For sure. So EVE came from just wanting to, of course, figure out a name that would be like catchy and something that could be memorable. And so EVE coming out to Eve being kind of like the pretense to something great was the idea. You got Christmas Eve, you got New Year's Eve. So like you just wanted to make sure that it was something that could stick. And so it was the pretense to something great. And then it also came down to Earn Vision Entertainment. We started thinking about like the whole purpose of the team and of us working on music together was all in-house and learning and doing it all in a manner that was kind of supportive of one another and learning all the skills to need to make, music at a level that, gets consumed on the radio and commercial and stuff. And it's all come from friends that, we grew up with and we're in the same area for our entire lives. So just something great that we're running towards and working and trying to earn it ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome, man. So you guys grew up together?
Yeah, we all grew up in the southwest suburb area, like Brookfield, LaGrange. And so obviously the big high school in the area, Lyons Township.
Right.
We all kind of like in passing throughout high school actually knew each other through like a couple mutual clubs.
Sure.
And I have an older brother, little brother. And Dito, Victor, was actually closer to my little brother before I really got to formally meet him, know him. But we were all in, post-high school age, starting to be in college, all in our own endeavors. And I'm out in the city, out at DePaul. And just after in the middle of my second year at college, I really started hanging out with Dito. He was around with my brother more, and he was like, oh, Victor, he's a good dude. He's cool. He's really into a lot of the music that you'd be into, and I was really close friends. So you know, it just kind of like connected there.
Sure.
And it was just like everyone knew, like in the area where I grew up, that I was a singer. I'd been singing since I was in like 6th grade.
Nice.
And it was always like national anthem kid, like choir kid, like musical, or like any stage that could get my voice out after like that age. I was just like trying to do that. And then I remember just it was just that like warming summer season of like 2017 when it just came down to, I had a cousin from out of town that was just like, you need to do something with your music because you've just been like, you know, singing, performing. And when he left, we had something started. And then another one of my friends, Xavier, and then Victor, like came home from the summer, and they're like, yo, you started something cool. Like, we should continue to do this aside from just like covers. They started seeing that we were starting to write stuff. And it starts in like we're trying to find good YouTube beats for each other to go on and start writing on. And then from that, like just being in someone's car, just like, or at the park, you played on the speaker and going there. But then it started to like, you know, you start hearing like it's kind of hard to release stuff that's just like YouTube beats, and you're gonna get copyrighted, and it's not really yours, and it's not this. And it's like, if you're making stuff at a level, like, do it yourself. And Dito actually took the realm on that, took the reins on that, and formally became executive producer there of Eve. I'll let him talk a little bit about how he saw the start of everything.
Awesome, man. Y'all can move the mic if you want a little bit.
Alright, but we'll share one. Alright, going back to what he mentioned earlier, we had another friend of ours named Xavier, you know, Big X, Coach X, shout out to him. Honestly, he brought me closer to Chris, because at the time they were closer, and I was just big chilling, you know, walking home from like, I want to say like summer school or something, you know, and then this man just pulls up to the side and he's just like, yo, hop in the whip, and I'm, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I barely know you. I don't know. I was like, where
kidnapping me? Where are you taking me?
Where are we going?
I got candy for you.
Exactly, bro. And then next thing you know, he pulls up, you know, I guess the McDonald's with him. We talked through saying how he wants to pull through more, or he wants me to come through more, and things like that. And he started bringing me, you know, to Chris and things like that. I guess just more music involved things. And at the time, I mean, I wasn't where I am today.
Sure.
And I wanted to be anywhere around the music, you know. It kind of would just like, it sounds weird, but you know, it's just,
no, for sure, man. That's how you grow, is being around it and being around the people that, you know, are like-minded, and not I mean, you don't have to be like-minded, but you know, trying to work towards the same things at the end of the day, and seems like it's working out so far.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, dude, I started off as a photographer. So I would
he had a shoebox that he had for like was it like a Nikon D3500? He would keep that thing. He literally like decorated it with like photographer, like camera box, and everything was always
101.
Yeah, everything he always started, it was like, you take it to another level. Like, even though he was just like doing the camera stuff at the beginning, like he put in the effort to make this like really actually like kind of custom and kind of like the vibe of the team like box, just to have like the feel for what he wanted to be making.
That's awesome.
And he actually edited, I remember some of my favorite photos are actually the ones that he did on like Adobe Photoshop editing, and ended up doing it after just like learning it, you know, like quickly within like a couple weeks. And it's like he took that, but then he took it to with the beats, to with the production himself.
That's awesome. No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, production for the most part, like for me, started picking up like a year and a half ago, I want to say, when we all moved into our first apartment, and it's just, you know, day and night, you know, grinding, just being in front of that computer.
For sure.
Just, well, you know the vibes, you know.
Absolutely. Especially too, what's cool is, and you know, I mean, I'm impressed, dude, because you're, for what's it called, a year and a half, that's you're already there, you know, you're already doing your thing. So
thank you
absolutely. And it doesn't, I mean, if you're locking in, especially, you know, those early days at night, where I feel like as a producer, that's where you're the most motivated, is those beginning stages, because it's like I don't know how to do this, but I really want to figure out how to do it, right?
Oh,
So you're
yeah.
just up all night, you're just grinding at it, trying to figure out the hi-hats. How am I going to get this 808 busting, you know, my melodies, right?
Yeah.
But then, you know, when you're doing your individual thing, you keep doing it, you keep building up, and then it makes it even easier when you're working with the homies and y'all are, you know, starting to collaborate and you feel that you got something good going on. It really motivates it even more, and, you know, it all starts to formulate with what y'all got going on. So that's what's up.
100%, yeah.
We were even just talking about it. We were even just talking about it yesterday that, like, with Swank, who's off in the corner, if we
Shout
want to
out
say that.
Swank.
Shout out Swank.
He's in the building.
Yeah, in the building. We were talking about how it's super important to be able to have, like, a consistent backboard to be able to work off of when you're working on music. Like, as a producer, because, you know, as a producer, you can take on clients, people that, like, you find, you search out for. And as an artist, you can search out a bunch of producers and try to get a bunch of different sounds. But, like, grew up in the same space, have always been listening to the same music for years, and just like getting our tastes to kind of merge, having somebody that you can just spend all the time focused on, like, what's next, what are we going to work on, having that one producer artist kind of connection is huge in being able to develop like a sound and saying like what we're not going to do, what we do want to do, what we want to listen to for a while to kind of inspire our next pieces of work. Where, like, you know, you start project, it started like I would start, you know, projects with producer, and then, you know, it gets a little hard, people are busy to be able to finish something, and then you like move along, but like the dedication never wavered between the group.
For sure.
And just like because we wanted to make something.
Yeah, because there's already that foundation set between you guys. So when you want to work together, you already have expectations for each other. So instead of going to someone new, like a new producer, you kind of like tread the waters lightly. I mean, I'm just like assuming you tread the waters lightly, you're trying to be like not too pushy, and you don't want to like push their buttons, and you don't want to like come off as this. But like if you work with someone you work with plenty of times before, you know exactly what they need from you and what you need from them, and kind of it just works like that. I can only imagine.
100%.
Absolutely. And then how about Cujo?
Dude, and then I come in hanging around with them all the time because this is my older brother, Dito.
Nah.
So, like, you know, I was always the younger brother that was always in the picture, just behind. And for some reason, I was just like, you know what, fuck yeah. Or, my bad.
He's out.
I just want to try it
out.
Strike one.
Ring that bell for us, boss. There, real
I'm
quick.
so sorry about
Strike
that.
one.
No, you're good. We have
but like, I just you know, why not try? And just everyone has the same vibe. Everyone is on the same page. I just love the dedication that these men right next to me have.
Yeah.
And we just go crazy.
Absolutely.
And I'm still learning. I'm not saying like I'm really like there, but like I've came a long way as much as everyone else right here did too.
For sure. And I'm sorry, bro. What was your like main thing?
Well, I mean, I was just a
producer.
producer. I just make music with them. I help out here and there. I'm on a few of upcoming beats that are coming out.
Dope. Nah, it's
nice
dope,
melodies. You give him the task of switching up the vibe of a song percussion wise.
Yeah.
And he takes it on tenfold. So he's being a little modest, but he definitely knows how to catch a good vibe on songs. And, you know, with any production, anyone that you work with, it could start with him. It could start with him.
Yeah.
And kind of are able to, you know, put each other's ideas together. And so, like, you previewed a couple of our songs already. The one that's a little bit more like 4 on the floor actually was his beat originally, and it had a different percussion line. And he was actually the one that like sat down and made the percussion that 4 on the floor kind of heart pulsing beat that led to the song being made. So it's just how it works.
That's
it's
awesome,
how it flows
man.
through.
That's
Sweet.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I mean, that's it's awesome to see how things come together, and especially when it's like family. You know, that makes it even more special, bro. Because y'all, I had my so I was in Texas. I got some family in Texas, right? And I was out there last year, and I had my younger cousin, shout out Servando. He's 19, right? And it was the same type of thing. Like I had a song that I wanted to like do a video with, and I had just picked up the camera a couple months. And he's more into like drawing and artistry and whatnot, right? And this is on the topic of family. And I was just like, yo, you know, would you be interested in shooting a video for me? He was like, yeah, you know, that's badass, you know. And then like as we got done, whatever, like we were talking about it, had our other cousin there, and well, she said one thing that really stuck with me that reminds me, that resonates with y'all, that makes me think. She was like, about my cousin Silvando shooting it. She was like, yeah, you know, he wants to do it, you know, because y'all are family, y'all are, you know, it's not like, oh, I'm just going whatever, but it's like, I want to do it for you type of thing. So that's just kind of the vibe I get with like Cujo and Dido. Is like, yo, like Cujo, you may be the younger brother, you know, you may still be kind of getting your toes a little wet. I mean, all of y'all still are a little bit, you know, but it's like you want to be there for the fam, you know, y'all want to be a part of it. And that's just like when that blood is flowing, you know, and it's a part of the music and a part of the creation of what y'all got going entirely. Plus, you know, I mean, it doesn't always have to be straight blood, you know, it's just the bond. I think it's admirable.
100%. It's like we're all from the same place. We all have that bond, and it is bonded through music because, you know, you have family. Yeah. And like, you know, your family can be full of professionals, can be full of athletes, can be full of, you know, any type of archetype and work. But like to want to spend your late night hours and just like work on music and want to create a different like skill set, just be like in that creative mode. Like we all do our own thing and we all work and do what we have to do, but like we all come back together just to know that we want to make some really nice music. Yeah. So it's just like, you can't force that. You can't force that at all. No, so when you find that, you don't squander, you know, and you keep doing, you keep going.
Yeah, you definitely appreciate in the moment what you have, like you said. You know, you really don't squander it. You really hone that, and man, I mean, y'all are so fresh and it's so new, you know. So it's just like give y'all some time. It's not that it's not already, but you know, it's gonna be teed up. Yeah, we got funny. Andy G says, shout out Eve. He said, where the Puffco at?
My boy Andy.
Look at these boys.
Hey, bro, you know where it's at, bro.
Mischievous.
That's funny, man. Y'all chiefers. We won't say. Absolutely. So
don't put them on blast like that.
No, hey, it's a 420 friendly show over here. You know, just always checking the vibes over here.
Not the devil's lettuce.
Not the devil's lettuce.
The jazz tobacco. You serious?
Yes. So music wise, what would you say is? I mean, you know, the people got a taste and heard what y'all got going on, but what would you say is the kind of sound that you gravitate towards?
Whenever I'm asked, like, from these guys what we want it to sound like, I'm always like, I want it to be emotional, vocal heavy music that you can, like, shake your body to. You shake some booty too. No. So, like, it ends up being, it's like this fusion of R&B, pop, hip hop, especially myself, Evino. Like, I've been a vocalist for a long time. The first music that I was really listening to came off of an iPod that I got like on a road trip. On my way back, my cousin just like sold my older brother an iPod, and it was stocked with like Usher, Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, like all this old R&B, or like, you know, 2000s R&B. Sure. So
old.
Yeah, you know, old for the new generation.
So the classics.
Yeah, and so it was like, that was what I loved singing and kind of like practiced. Yeah. So like we get told like, oh, like some of the songs like, it sounds like 2000s R&B, and I love hearing that because it's exactly kind of like where the inspiration started.
Yeah.
So, and these boys have like a different palette for sound and music that they like so that I'll leave my part there. I'll let them talk about theirs.
I mean, well, when it comes to sounds, you know, I just, you know, the same way how I like being myself is just, you know, being different, but within like the music realm, you know. And I feel like that kind of brings more freedom to me, I guess you can say, you know, because it's like you can truly be yourself. You can put down whatever you want, and at the end of the day, it's what you decide to do, and it's what you decide is final, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, if people aren't gonna like it, people are, but that's the thing is like, it made you happy, you know, at the end of the day. And that's, you know, sometimes you gotta do things for yourself. You know?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Jinx. Yeah, man. And I feel like it's making music. And I've learned, you know, like as a artist and as a creator, it's like you kind of have to find that balance of exactly what you said of like, yes, I do this for me, because it's like as an artist, we all do this for ourselves at the end of the day, right? But then it's the mixture of like, okay, in terms of the creation of it, it's like I know the sound that I want to make, right? I know what I like, but at the same time, you have to be open-minded, right? And kind of just with any type of business or real estate, you know, it's like just understanding the market, right?
Yes, sir.
And understanding kind of the competition per se and what's popping, right? You know, because like you could be making something that you love, but and say you're trying to get to a certain place, but maybe that sound just isn't the sound that may get you on the, you know, it's not saying that it's not good music, but you know, you may be making like some old, maybe grungy kind of more like boom bap type of music, for example, which I love and I'm not knocking at all, you know, but it's like if you're approaching that style of music, and I think more than not artists that do these days understand like that's not the type of music that's probably going to be picked up by mainstream radio or, you know, just mainstream music in general. So, you know, how do you guys find that balance for yourselves of doing your thing, but at the same time kind of saying like, I don't know, not conforming, you know, because you don't want to conform, but at the same time, you know, maneuvering around.
You're always listening. So like you're always listening to what's new. You're listening to, you got your albums that you run back to. I'm an album listener, by the way.
Nice.
I like to listen to the project from start to finish.
Agreed.
And so for me,
I'm with you there.
It is very much in the light of like there's greatness that you listen to, you know, and you want to be influenced, and you figure out the influences of those people's influences.
It's never ending.
And then when you listen to the new music, like if you're listening to a lot of music, you'll hear where the influence of theirs comes from.
Right.
And so it's not to say like you conform, never ride trends.
Right.
That's never it, because it's very much like we had been making, or we had years ago, you know, like, oh, this song's like nice. Like, let's try to do something like this song. And then like you spend hours on it and it's not right. And then sometimes you work on something like these guys just mash something together,
right? And
then you get the good, you know, you get like a good flavor vibe for it. You work on it, it's done in like an hour.
Yeah.
And so it's like bringing in and you know, you listen to what's coming out all the time, and I guess bringing your own approach, like always just bring your own approach. Everyone's listening and like they're finding, you know, very famous grooves, very famous melodies that still get played in this new wave of music.
Right.
They find a way to make it themselves and original.
For sure.
So never bite, but have good inspirations.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, bro, for sure. And then in the machine of the music industry and in the like the super major labels, there's definitely certain like riffs or like kind of loops per se that are recycled over and over again, you know, just certain notes or chords or whatever that, you know, you can hear different songs and be like, this is the same thing, you know.
I don't want to like, you know, trash or anything, but like Funk Waves Bounce 1 is fantastic. Funk Waves Bounce 2 is good. It sounds a lot like Funk Waves Bounce 1. So like, you know, and I totally all the time listening and like trying to catch those things and seeing where people are placing these things again and again. And yeah, you can follow the line of like who helped write this, and then you'll get to talk. I love watching those interviews. I love these things, you know. So that way you can get, you know, you pick up such little things in that way.
You get the essence of it all and whatnot, right? So I've been dying to ask, man. Being a Latino myself, like how, and I just love that y'all, you know, got your group thing going on. How like does the Latino flavor for y'all, like how do you infuse that into your music? Because it's all over there, you know, it's totally in the music, but how do you, especially, you know, in the hip hop realm, you know, how do you, whether it's intentional or not, bring your guys' flavor into the music or just the culture, you know, Eve in general. I was going to say Evie.
Okay. I mean,
sorry,
it's
that was a lot.
I think it comes back to, you know, being true to yourself and who you are, you know, because like you said, like from growing up in a Latino community, you know, you kind of just embrace everything around you, and you know, essentially that is who you are, right, to a certain extent, of course, but yeah, it's like, but that's where the flavor comes through, you know. Sometimes it is intentional because we'll be like, yo, guitar, you know what I mean?
Reggaeton bounce to it.
Yeah, like we need a nice little rim shot, you know, keep it going, you know. Like sometimes we really do be okay, we want to hit it a certain way, but for the most part, it's just loading up FL and going through the sounds. Yeah,
that's dope.
I would definitely say like the focus of the music ending up being something you can be emotional, but can still shake your booty to. Right. Making sure, like Saturday morning, I would wake up for my entire life, and there's music blasting that I know I'm gonna have to clean my house to, but that music is making me dance the whole time. Like I grew up in a household where like, yeah, you're cleaning, but we're dancing and singing. All my brothers sing. Nice. My mom could sing. So like I always had that as kind of like, and there's certain songs that I listen to in Spanish that like I can't get 30 seconds into without like crying, just because it's like a core memory.
Sure.
Like I just think about that all the time. And so like I know that I have used moments and cadences of certain songs that like I love and I listen to probably like at least once a month, have them in a playlist and like get myself to like feel those things. I've spoken in Spanish and written some Spanish verses and a couple of songs. They're not on our list here today, but like the whole back end to on the beginning of the Eve mixtape, So Specials in Spanish. I have a couple songs that are kind of like in the works in Spanish. I wouldn't say that I've delved into reggaeton or like that new wave of reggaeton, and like not to say that it hasn't been attempted and we tried recording something, but it's like it's got to sound and feel right. So it's like that's something that honestly I would say like I'm more recently really getting into like knowing a lot of it, and with that comes the listening and research part, so you don't just like dive into it, but definitely take a lot of like my favorites and apply a little here and there. The feeling.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I feel it, dude. And you know, I've always fought the battle of like being because I'm biracial, so I'm Mexican and Irish, you know. And my whole journey has been me basically like I was raised Mexican, but it's like I look white, right? So my whole life has been me basically like trying to find myself as a Mexican in the sense. Not that I shun away my Irish side. It's just like that's my father's side. I've never met my father. I don't know any part of that, you know. So all I really know is being Mexican type of thing. But at the same time, like I don't know Spanish, for example. So it's like I don't know, man. Like through the music, like to connect with you guys, it's like I feel like music has helped me in my journey of finding myself as a Latino, you know, and has helped me. Like I've written some music in Spanish as well, so it's I don't know, that's just the beauty of music in general, because it's like whether it's Spanish or, you know, we had a really cool artist from I forgot exactly where our homie Mr. Teacher. Do you remember exactly where he was from? Somewhere in Africa, for sure.
I can't remember where
I don't
Mr.
remember
Teacher
exactly.
was.
Yeah.
Shouts out Mr. Teacher.
Shout out Mr. Teacher, but he was speaking in or he was going crazy, rapping, going crazy in a like a African language. I'm sorry for my ignorance because I don't remember exactly what it was, but I mean, just that's just the beauty of music at the end of the day, you know, is you've got all these different flavors, and it's just like you said, it's really a representation of who you guys are, you know, not fully, and that kind of transitions into the birthday of hip hop. And it doesn't matter genre, or it doesn't matter, you know, skin color or who you are, whatever. Like that's the beauty of hip hop and music in general, is that we can all come together, sit down tonight, and be able to, you know, just chop it up on the love of music, right? And just the enjoyment of what we all do. And we, you know, we've only met each other a handful of times, but you know, we're here, we're doing our thing, you know, and we're all able to share and enjoy the experience that is hip hop.
Yeah. Before we move on to hip hop, I have a quick question. Going back to reggaeton,
Yes, sir.
I'm curious to what you guys and G, of course, as to. I feel like in the past, like 3 years maybe, or like 3 or 4 years, reggaeton has just like skyrocketed to be like one of the most popular genres in like the top 40 charts. Like you put on the radio, there's so much more reggaeton than what you used to listen to. Why do you guys think that is? Like I'm like, I don't listen to the radio a whole lot anymore because like I don't have a car, so I don't drive. I usually just listen to what I want to listen to on my phone. But even then, like I still like look at the charts and I see Bad Bunny's up there, J Balvin's up there, Rosalia, you know, all these big names. And like I'm just curious, what do you guys think? Why reggaeton has kind of skyrocketed, like, or become such a big genre in this day and age?
In my theory, it's that upbeat, it's the Afrobeat feeling of the music. That like we have been seeing, you know, pop into the top charts for decades. Like you get that one Afrobeat song like a summer, and it's got that energy that makes people just like want to dance. And so the biggest consumer of music, if the last time like I checked, it was years ago, was like Brazil is actually like the number one, like it's the biggest market of like streaming consumption.
Wow.
And so it's like the biggest consumer of music overall is Latino America. So it's like if you like just look by the numbers, what they're listening to, like it's a high spirit music. So it's like reggaeton. I always say like I've got like my 2 or 3 playlists for reggaeton because it's like I like to go like old school Puerto Rico, Los Cangris, like Daddy Yankee, Nicky Jam stuff together, and then like that stuff influenced, you know, like the big rise of, because growing up, the first time that I like really knew what reggaeton was, like what it sounded like, or like I could tell like this is reggaeton, was when Daddy Yankee really started popping off. So it's like that's what like initially when I think reggaeton, I think Daddy Yankee. But like he got a couple features and collabs there in the last, you know, like since post 2014, I'd say, like just the collaborative energy was very high.
For sure.
Shout out Drake. Drake has used so many Afrobeats and classic melodies that are very Latino inspired, and like those songs go big, and we all know the Drake effect, and like so it's all hand in hand. It's the flavor that everyone's loved, wants to dance to, but then like that hyper collaborative effort, and then just Bad Bunny kind of running the airwaves alongside him over these last, like, you know, no one like him going on tour, finishing an album right after the tour, finishing an album, going right on tour, like boom. I remember going to his 100X pre-tour, and like that album's amazing. And then like right after, he had another album that was also just like full of bangers. So it's just like, and like when I went to his tour, he wasn't like super popular, and now in like right after, he was super banging because he started getting collabs and everything. Like, so yeah, it's just people like the flavor, Latino gang.
Absolutely. Preach. Yeah, man. We're coming. We're definitely coming. To keep it short, you feel me? We coming. But yeah, no, he's spot on, man. I feel like, especially with streaming too, and like you said, with the collaborations, whether it's Drake or like Nicki Minaj, you know, with Karol G, or right, like all the women as well are going equally as crazy. And yeah, I just, whether it is the Afro beats or the reggaeton, you know, it's just, I think the digital age of music has made it a lot easier, because you can do all of that in an FL Studio or in Ableton or whatever, you know, whereas, you know, before it was, you had your specific genres and things were in their boxes, whereas now, I mean, just with how the world has become and how everything is developed, everything is keyword globalization, right? So everything is just coming together, and that's just what we're seeing with music. And you know, in the sense of we're coming, I mean, there's just a lot of Latinos, you know, and especially in America, we're gonna be the majority soon, right? Excuse me. So I just think that in terms of influence, that's another factor as to what's going on. You know, there's just a lot more of us. Yeah, but the country's getting diverse, and that's what's super cool about it all. Indeed. How are y'all feeling over here?
Feeling great.
Doing great.
Absolutely. No, I'm feeling well. What's going on in the... Did you say something?
No.
Okay. Got Onesie Carlson saying, "Hey-o!" Well, that's why I was saying, "Yo." For sure. Well, I think we'll play we'll continue the music that we were listening to from EVE. We'll take a quick little break, and then we'll come right back. We'll chop it up a little bit more.
Dope. Sounds great.
Excellent. EVE in the building. Where's the music? Play the music. Play the music. Don't do this to us.
Hold on. Don't do it, please.
Don't do this to us.
There it is.
Ooh, what you do with him? How could you do it to me? We said we'd have respect, and they were part of the list. You moving so gross. Said you had class, I don't see it. Saved you from dark holes. Now I'm the one who is needy. Your touch don't feel right. No more, I've been knowing that you sneak away late night. And dude ain't even a match for you, it just spite me. Been bitching, you are so icy. Can't look at you nice. My trust been crushed by you rightly. Said I'm done, 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 done. Miss me with apologies. I'm numb, 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 numb. Told me those is where, but can you know? No, 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 no. Suddenly, what we said just don't mean a thing. Openly, you make your mess and post to IG. Bad thing, pretty bing with hearts on a string. Swing your hips and move your lips so hypnotizing. Suddenly, what we said just don't mean a thing. Openly, you make your mess and post to IG. Bad thing, pretty bing with hearts on a string. Swing your hips and move your lips so hypnotizing. So hypnotizing, yeah, yeah. With hearts on a string, bad thing, pretty bang. Swing your lips and move your hips, so hypnotizing. You even feel regret, running my name out like plastic. That's how you feel, huh? Big love is your only option. You think you're slicker. Your girl's the first one set out. You're running the same pack, but it's a game for your nightly. Your touch don't feel right. No more, I've been knowing that you sneak away late night. And dude ain't even about you losing my patience. You always kept my heart racing. You need a taste of your own doing, but I'm righteous. I said I'm done, 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 done. Miss me with apologies. I'm numb, 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 numb. Told me those is where, but can you know? No, 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 no.
4 a.m. I'm in my head, keep hearing my name. Faded off this blunt, I swear she want the same thing. Cruising around the city cause she love it fast paced. Running from her problems, please don't bring them my way. Running from her problems I can't solve them. But the way she put it on me, swear I do whatever she want to. The way she put it on me, swear I do whatever she wanna do. The way she put it on me, swear I do whatever she wanna do. Was holding it down for you, was willing to die for you. The feelings inside were true. Who's running my mind, who's wasting my time, who's telling lies, that's you. Who's running my mind, who's wasting my time, who's telling lies, that's you.
Done, 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 done. Miss me with apologies. I'm numb, 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 numb. Told me those is where, but can you know? No, 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 no. Suddenly, what we said just don't mean a thing. Openly, you make your mess and post to IG. Bad thing, pretty bing with hearts on a string. Swing your hips and move your lips so hypnotizing. Suddenly, what we said just don't mean a thing. Openly, you make your mess and post to IG. Bad thing, pretty bing with hearts on a string. Swing your hips and move your lips so hypnotizing.
We back over here on Northside Plugged. Oh, wait.
Can't see us.
Can't see us.
And we back.
Now you can see us. Now you can't 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 see us. Now you can see us. All right.
Did that make anyone sick at home? Good. I hope it did.
Motion
That
sick.
means you're watching, so thank you.
Northside Plugged is not responsible for any motion sickness that is caused.
Put that in the below text.
Side effects may include
Side effects may include
nausea,
indigestion,
sudden urge to dance.
Let's go. Let's go.
Sudden urge to dance. Okay, we've got Eve in the building / Evie, whatever you want to call them.
Yes.
Let me show y'all right there. Boom. Talented artists that they are. So we've gotten into kind of your sound. We've gotten into who you guys are. But the people around are definitely wondering what's up with the music that we've just heard. Maybe you guys can break down that track a little bit and then...
Yes. So that one is actually in the file, if you see, named incorrectly on purpose. It's currently like Summer Ends, but it's like Summer Anthem is the idea of it.
Okay.
And so that's probably our next one to come out here for the summer. Aside for we played it at the beginning of the show, that one in downtown. We wanted to work on something that did just that and wanted to make people dance. We dropped the whole mixtape the actual date that it dropped. It was supposed to be March. It came out like middle of April. And so like that
April
whole
20th.
thing has got that like kind of dark feeling of like, you know, the city and just like outside. I was like, we're going to start working on projects of my vocals on them. Like I want people to be able to dance.
Yeah.
So we were going through all the work that they'd been going through. He switched the beat up on the percussion on that one, and it just came down to like this like pulsing dance type beat, and it wrote itself just off the feeling of it. And so wanted to have something that people could just like at home. I was literally thinking I've played that song all the time when I'm cleaning, just to like get myself like feeling that like vibe and getting going and moving fast. So that was the whole purpose and kind of emotion that I wanted to put into that one. And we wanted to play another song that's out already, Champagne, that's got me and Dito on together, but making a clean version of that one's a little tough. So so we wanted to make sure, I wanted to follow up with Dito, and so that's why we both got on it together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it went.
Yeah. I mean, like he said, Chicago house music was a pretty big influence as well. We just want something bumping, bouncing, and you know, get the people going. You know. Honestly, that's
House feels with an Eve mix.
Yeah.
House has got its, you know, it's got its flavor, and there's the 4 on the floor.
Yeah.
We wanted, and something that Vic always preaches is like us, our story, our originality, and kind of like what we listen to. He does mix in a way that is kind of like to the music that he loves to listen to.
Yeah.
And so like getting that song to where we were both happy to be on it together in like this dance type feeling. Yes, inspired by all the music that like we play when we're trying to get like dancing and teed. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. So I was fortunate enough to be able to link up with you guys as well as Swank earlier today at the Music Garage. Y'all were doing y'all thing. So I got a little taste of towards the end of y'all cooking up, creating whatnot.
Yeah.
So I was just, you know, if maybe y'all want to give the people maybe a little breakdown, a little paint a picture for the people in the sense of your kind of creative process. You know, I know you said you kind of just open it up and just it goes from there, you know, but I don't know. What's it like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, from what you saw, is kind of like my everyday thing. It's just open up FL. I don't want to be thinking about anything specific or putting my head in a certain space, because then that's boundaries, you know.
Sure.
And I want my creativity to flow fluid, and you know, I kind of adapt while making the beat. You know, sometimes I'll be like, all right, I'm feeling something fast, but then when you place it down, it's, you know, sometimes a little too fast, and you want to slow it down, and you start just feeling it out, and eventually, you know, a few chords that you put down ends up becoming a whole symphony, and you know, just magic's being happened.
Yeah.
And like right at the end of the session when you came in, you guys started to like cook up together like pretty quickly there.
Yeah.
Before you showed up, we were actually working on music specifically for the project that we're putting together. For my, you know, for Vino, for that feeling of, you know, R&B, vocal heavy, dancey type music. Re-recording some of the songs that have been written for a while, now that we are blessed to be able to work out of the Jungle Audio Engineering in the Music Garage. Shout out Lex, thank you so much. We had been making songs kind of in that energy of like, okay, you're going to rip your vocals, and you're going to make sure that you're telling the story of yourself, and that's coming from me. So that's the focus, with the goal of being able to drop that collective sound in November. I'm a Scorpio, November 11th, baby.
Nice.
So want to do something, you know, it's themed, it's moody, it's dancey but moody. So that's all I can say about kind of what that project's gonna sound like.
Nice. Are you dropping on all streaming platforms?
Yes. Right now we got a a good amount of music already out on Spotify, Apple Music. If you look up eVino or Earn Vision Entertainment, you'll see our whole mixtape with music from all the guys that we worked with over the last couple years.
Nice.
If you go to eVino, you'll be able to catch some sad songs, some emotional songs, some dance type songs. Eve Dito's got his music out there as well.
Yeah, we're like you said, we're just starting off and we're trying to just catch our fire and keep going.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. You just start, and then you keep building, keep growing, and then it just accumulates over time, and then like you started with the camera, and then you started producing, and then you started mixing, and you started mastering, you started rapping, you feel me? It's like, it all just unfolds, and that's the beauty of it, and that's why we're here doing the radio thing, It was never really a preconceived thing of, okay, Dan and I are going to do a radio show. We used to talk and be like, yo, maybe we can do something in the future, if the opportunity presents itself, whatever, but by the grace of God or the universe, whatever, we were just able to make the right connections, got us in the building, and it's just another part of the artist, the journey, and the artist, faction of it all. We just keep doing it, and you don't stop, and it just builds and becomes a bigger beast or a bigger animal than you could have ever believed it, or not believe, but ever could have even imagined. Because you start from the ground up. You start just from a dream, from an idea.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, no, you're gonna say something?
I was visualizing back seat of cars with your laptop open, singing in a USB mic.
Yeah.
To like being able to actually use.
So many cruises, bro.
Yeah, so many cruises.
I'm talking like we used to park up by the planetarium, and he bust out his laptop. We'll just start playing Smash Bros off his laptop while watching the view of the city,
Yeah.
Like all right there, late night, and then afterwards, we're just vibing. Yeah, throw the beats on, start writing.
We laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like, the balance for you guys from? Obviously you're from the LaGrange area, but Chicago's right there, basically, So. What's the balance for you guys of whether it's through music or just life in general? How do you balance, I guess, being a part of Chicago, but at the same time, just having your own wave outside of the city?
Yeah, it's from kind of how I understand the question, like the way I frame my life to kind of be together with the city, doing my thing, also working on the music. I have been fortunate to live in a lot of different parts of the city. I was saying before the show, when I was a little kid, I was out in Cicero, and then I was up in Stickney, but none of my real memories started happening until I was in grade school, and then I was living in LaGrange. Over the last 2 years, we've lived by the United Center, and then lived in the Brighton Park area. So it's I've seen and lived in every part, and a lot of the parts of the city for multiple years at a time, all at the same time. Up until I was when I graduated, I went to university at DePaul. So I was kind of on that path of professional, corporate. I worked a corporate job for a couple years, all at the same time. My family business is real estate.
Nice.
So I got my real estate license right when I was 21. Sweet. So like you were saying, having multiple lives and identities. I very much had to juggle. My family in this part of the city, working with clients in this part of the city, having to be back for classes, having to be ready to do everything that was kind of on my plate. It wasn't really until the freedom to kind of roam the city, with honestly once you're on wheels, once you finally have your own wheels, I would say is when I could finally really start to identify more with the corners of the city. So it's just you take everything into consideration, and kind of what you're bringing up. But I know a lot. I hang out with so many different people from so many different corners. From I always say a lot of my friends are always yo, you know this guy, so many different people in so many different walks of life.
Yeah.
And I literally take it into I'm thankful that I've had so many different avenues and opportunities to get in front of me from So that's kind of how I absorb it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. How's the real estate game for you?
So, shout out Coldwell Banker, Downers Grove. That's where my license is at. If you guys are looking for a rental, buy, sell, Chris Fonseca. Quick plug, shameless plug. The real estate market, I mean, I don't want to get too into like, crash coursing people right now. Sure. But if you're paying attention, the interest rates are like kind of fluctuating up and down. People are saying that it's been doubled since as of like February, March. We're looking at like 3.5%. Some people are getting like 5.8 with good credit, and like 6, 7 if they don't have very great credit. So, but we're not in like a loan bubble for homes, which is like I'm hearing a lot of just like, ooh, we're in a recession. We are we are in a recession. We see what's going on in the world across the pond. Prices of everything are going up, but the prices of homes are just kind of like starting to stabilize because the loan interest isn't so high. So people don't want to offer $20K, $30K above asking price anymore because you don't want to put a loan at high interest percent of like that much more money going towards it.
For sure.
So thankfully I have, like I said, it's family business.
Yeah.
I've been able to work as a realtor since I was 21.
That's awesome.
So I'm able to always have somebody to be able to help and work with.
Because you need that mentor, right?
Yeah, I need shout out Sylvia, shout out my mom. She was the OG and mentor to a lot of realtors, and her son being one. Right when I was able to get the license, I had that thing, learned while I was still in university how to do the real estate game well.
It's a finesse.
And so like from that point, learning from somebody who's like don't want to get like someone who came from Mexico, didn't even have the language, to be able to be a realtor herself.
Shout out
and
to
then
her.
Be able to put her and her sons in LaGrange.
Yeah.
So that way we could
LaGrange ain't cheap.
No, so and that's like kind of something you respect.
Absolutely.
You absolutely respect that.
Absolutely.
And so it was like always wanted to meet the standard of doing that with honor in the right way.
And it's a high standard, man.
Yeah, it's a
your
incredibly high
mom
standard.
set a high standard for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's real estate game is good.
Yeah.
Give you a call.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. No, that's good. Yeah. I don't know. This is how you don't have to get too personal, but do you enjoy being able to do it with the fam?
I do in that like one, the connections of people of families and so many families that I know. Like I would have never thought that I'd know so many people in so many different industries if I didn't grow up around that for my entire life. So like I said, every corner of the city I know a family, I know somebody. I can get invited to like a carne asada out in like the South Holland Harvey area and just have a great time with people that love my family. And then I can also be like up in Lincoln Park and hang out with people that I went to university, and like all of them have, with real estate, like everyone needs a place.
Yeah.
And being a good person, just being a good friend is a good place to just like start having that conversation.
For sure.
And so it's very nice. Especially I worked corporate for a couple of years. And like you feel impersonal working corporate. This has always been a family like personable business, which is what's great about it. It's just like a complete opposite of what I experienced and that I really wanted. So
do you feel like your time at DePaul was worth it, or was it more of a waste of time, do you feel?
Definitely worth it, just from like the experience. I very thankful that DePaul's expensive. Very thankful that I was able to go to DePaul through like being able to do community service. I did community service like through high school.
Nice.
Was very involved in a program that's like nationwide, the National Hispanic Institute. Did summer programs and volunteering with them, and then I did tutoring like outside of school. So I went to DePaul for a minor in community service. Shout out Tepochcali, community education project in the Little Village area. I was a every week volunteer there through my 4 years of college, and I got to meet some amazing people that, when I was in college, I was able to see a lot very frequently. I was there every week. I want to get back to doing that. There's a lot of young kids that still I talk to just from like that area that like really do look up to me and like ask me questions all the time just about like how they're going through life. And so I appreciate the time at the Paw.
Yeah.
I didn't go out. I didn't have huge loans. I did have some.
Sure.
But like very thankful that like through everything that I went through, I was able to go to the school and pick up some amazing memories.
Yeah.
Like the music thing, I took like 2 Pro Tools classes from DePaul, like when I could take the electives. And like realistically, like the backbone of like, okay, we should really do this way. Like I still have all those worksheets, and like I remember referring to them a lot beforehand. But it's like, you know, you learn kind of like I picked up everything that I could for the space, and I have the degree. So, you know, this is gonna be going. We're gonna be doing this, and I got something to do. But it's nice to know that I also have that. So
exactly, yeah, good backbone for sure. So, how about live performances? Have y'all dabbled in that realm yet?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's been singing since he was in the 6th grade.
All right, exactly.
This man lives in the live performances.
Yeah.
Well, I meant more of as a collective.
Oh,
as a group.
okay, yeah.
EVE.
That's fine.
You want to talk?
Yeah, we've had a few pop-up events throughout the city. You know, been fortunate enough to be invited out. Me personally, I've been blessed enough to perform two different pop-ups and at a local bar of ours that it's the Max.
The Stadium Club at the Max. Shout out Stadium Club in Lions.
Yeah. So it's different. I mean, it's just, you know, being able to put yourself out there and then just, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's you know, you're singing along, and you know, next thing you know, there's a whole crowd in front of you cheering you on. You know.
Yeah.
I want to be doing a lot of live performances, want to be delving into that a lot more. We were getting really into that, doing like the pop-ups, doing invitationals, like art galleries, stuff like that. Shout out Birdie for really putting us on to a lot of kind of the local scenes. That's how I even met Swank, because we got invited to the same event.
Swank Gang.
Yeah, Swank Gang, you dig? Like we ended up getting invited to those events, and that's how we've met most of like the great people and a lot of artists that we collaborate with. Through that scene. We have friends that, you know, are performing a little bit more than us, and so they've been, you know, like looking to see that we get our catalog to a point so where we can really start doing like our solo stuff. I'm thankful that I have really good performing friends, and like that's the next step. That and videos. Being out in the city a lot more, performing more. As soon as we have another one, check out earnvision.com. We will be posting everything on there. Might have something come in by the end of this month. It's still maybe at the same spot over in McCook, but definitely looking to be performing more. I love singing. I love singing in front of people. That's the whole reason I even started making music.
Drop 8 bars right now.
No, I'm just kidding. I'll say something for y'all.
You gotta say 8, no, I'm just messing with you.
I could preview if we're gonna listen on Spotify. Let me know. I could give them a little bit.
No, we could definitely do a live performance or whatever towards the end of the show. I was just messing with you right there. Yeah, man. No, it's cool, dude. And yeah, again, that's the beauty. Like live performance. That's the reason why we're all here in this room, is because, again, shout out our homie Cold for throwing that specific event, the Fallout Breaking Jam last October. Yeah, you know, you just you know, you get blessed to have people that take that initiative to put things together, that understand like the importance of coming together, especially post pandemic, right? And the end of the day, we just come out and have a good time. Whether, you know, some people get to perform, other people, you know, you may just be there chilling, maybe doing camera work or just having a good time enjoying it. But at the end of the day, you're able to, if you're blessed enough, you're lucky, you're able to establish dope connections that you know, prior to that you weren't even expecting, and then boom, you know, you're able to have days like today and all the other days that you've had today before with Swank alone, you know, or other people that you may have met. And that's just the beauty of it all. And you know, it's the motivating factor that drives you to want to do more. You know, you want to meet more people, and you want to build more things and do more, just all this stuff. And it's just a crazy journey that I encourage, everybody that's in this loop, in this mix, one way or another, whether you're listening or, whatever you're doing, just in life in general, you got to take that moment, stop, and just really appreciate, just saying this right here and looking at y'all and us being here, man, all different walks of life. I really appreciate it, and these are moments that are we don't get these a lot. So, shout out to everybody that's tuning in, listening, whether it's YouTube or Q4. Shout out everybody in this room, shout out to Kevin for throwing the events. So, that's awesome.
Always shout out Cold.
Always.
Here's a random question. As a guy with two brothers, do you guys ever have any like headbutting brother moments when you're making music? Like, does that happen frequently in the studio, or is it all the time? What is it usually about? Is it usually about how?
It's usually like just we both have the same taste, but yet we're both like completely different.
Yeah,
like, we're so different. Like he, I don't know. He's more like. He likes it his way, but I mean,
I can feel the tension from
here. Sometimes
say something, bro.
I just gotta open that mind up, and help him out, and then he helps me out a ton. Like vice versa. It's not like it's always my stuff or it's always his stuff. You know what I mean? Like we always help each other out. But yes, to answer your question, we do bump heads a lot, but we always come to figure it out. We're never like, nah, it's this way or nah, it's that way. We always
it doesn't last too long.
Yeah, we always hear each other out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I feel like it's definitely a plus to have someone like within the family that does what I do.
Hell yeah.
Because then it's just like, I mean, it helped me with the collaborative process, because like he says, like the last thing I want to do is pull up to a session and be like, yeah, it's gonna be me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You get to do, some here and there, like nah, I want it to really be collaborative.
Yeah.
I want to be able to make magic between all of us, whoever's in the room, like you guys are helping out to make it, to paint that picture for sure.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome, man. So we talked about real estate, but outside of that, what would you say is like other interests or other hobbies that you guys partake in or do to kind of fill and balance your time?
A lot of video games. We run some squads on things. I mean, that like takes up time. This being all in-house over the last couple years, like on the creative side, on the art, like on the visual photo side, like one of the big things that I do with real estate and that I love is like making videos of homes. And like I'm like big camera person. Like I really enjoy camera and footage and editing, and like I'm starting to really use just like the creative landscape of Adobe Premiere and like starting to learn a little bit of After Effects myself that hopefully will get like splashed in there with what we're doing soon.
For sure.
So I always really like to know what I can do to help push and elevate like on the creative side. Like you said, you don't have all the bodies of support, but you kind of got to run at it yourself. So I'm always doing that. Trying to do that. We run a lot of, when we get the chance, when we get to relax, Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Doing that.
Love Rocket League.
Yeah, these guys definitely carry. Definitely carry. What about you guys? Making the beats.
Yeah. I mean, video
24/7.
games, it'd just be like GTA or something, you know what I mean? Something to take the time off, just keep the mind fresh, because it's like, at least for me, I'm very, I'm all over the place, like my mind at least, I'd like to say, just because it's like, I'm helping him with his project. I still got to think of other artists that I'm helping as well.
Right.
And I'm over here trying to learn too.
Yeah, so then I got to make time to tell, and teach up everything I know to my brother and things like that. It's like, I'm just always kept busy with the music, but I'm super grateful. I mean, like I said, you asked me 5 years, like, if I ever see myself in this type of situation, I'd be like, you're crazy. You
really? I feel it. I believe it. I know how it is. So that's interesting. So I guess again, you don't have to get too personal, but 5 years ago, what were you thinking in terms of like, this is what I want to do with my life, you know? Because it was totally different, right?
Yeah, I mean, at that time, I guess I was still thinking about like my friend groups and things like that. I don't know. High school was just, you know, pretty wild.
Yeah. We had a very different high school experience.
Y'all went to Lions?
Yeah, we went to LT, but I'd say we all had like our maturing stages and like what we did at different eras of our life.
Right.
Just like 5 years ago, because 5 years ago, we'll get, if you want to go back into like 5 years ago, I think I'm 25 right now. I would have been 20, still not 21 at the time. I was one of those kids who was like out with a lot of soccer players out at DePaul, going out, just like thinking about maybe doing a frat. Never did a frat. Happy I did it.
Yeah.
Like always like thinking about business, thinking about making sure that I did stuff that was like, you know, in the light of that. I never thought honestly about like working on music. I was like university and like that's gonna be my path. I would say that summer was super impactful in like what ended up becoming what this like in this team. But like I was very focused 5 years ago and like just work life, like just that work life lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for me, I mean I just graduated like 5 years ago, you know, just fresh out. I guess I'm thinking more like college and things like that, you know. What's the next step, what do I have going on for myself and things like that. And I mean, like I said, I got scooped out that one day and then I'm like, all right, let's go for the ride. And
never look back.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing you know, I'm visiting him downtown more often. You know, I was, especially 5 years ago, I was just trying to keep my mind straight, you know, just keep it open, because I feel like I'm not a very open guy like that, you know. So it's like I keep a lot of things within my head, and sometimes you just need to help release it. And my way of doing that was definitely cruising around like downtown, just always blasting my music without a care in the world, just going like enjoying the view. And I think it's crazy because I'll just be cruising and I'll be looking around and I'm like, yo, buddy's trying to get where he's going, you know what I mean? Like he's speeding down these streets and I'm like, I'll just get out the way. I'll be like, bro, you good, man, we're chilling.
Chill soul.
Yeah. And then the lake spots, obviously, you know, I love myself a nice little water view.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
It's always vibes at the lake.
Cooler by the lake.
Dan and I have one too many memories at the lake. We went to your rival school. We went to Loyola.
Nice.
Oh.
So Dan and I have been politely holding back our comments, as you said, to Paul. Because this is.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, Jimmy. So.
I'll bring it up, boss Dan. You know I got your back. It's Ramblers Nation over here, but we support Chicago and DePaul and everybody at the end of the day. So. It's all love. That's
what's so nice about the city. Just how you were talking about, said like you can escape to the lake at so many different spots, and there's so many great spots to kind of lose yourself, like get lost in your own thoughts and like just about what you're trying to think about or what you're trying to contemplate or what you're just listening to. There's so many great areas, not just by the lake, but anywhere. So many places around the city where you can kind of get lost in your own world and kind of just focus on yourself in those moments. And I definitely appreciate this city for having those kind of places all the time, anywhere and everywhere you can find them.
What would you? No, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. I mean, 100%. It's like just find yourself wherever, and I mean, you gravitate towards what you like, and you know, you'll find your spot within our city.
In a city so big, it can be easy to find those spaces sometimes, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. North, south, east, west, you know. But you got to know where you're going, because you don't want to have that chill spot may be the wrong spot to be chilling at. So just P's and Q's, ladies and gentlemen. P's and Q's. Cujo, you've been quiet. I need to know more. No, I'm curious, man. So being anyway, let me get the camera on you. Being the younger brother and just kind of having, I feel like, the looking up perspective in a sense, you know, like how do you feel like, just being in a more learning perspective, how do you feel like, I don't know, man, like how do you feel like you're growing within the group? I mean, because you're obviously a very important part of the group, but it's like, how do you feel like you're emerging within it?
Well, like just just being around everyone and like always participating in what's going on with like the project or making a beat with my brother. Like just always being around really helps and pushes me, because you know what I mean, we could only share one computer when we're cooking, you know what I mean? Like I can't be like, yo, let me get that mouse. Like you know what I mean? Like we always got to go back and forth. So like always sitting back, like it doesn't hurt to take a seat back and just always see what's going on, or like what the vibe is, or always, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I love it back there, because you know what I mean, I just think and then think and then maybe come up with something, and then you know what I mean, bada boom, we just start just making magic, you know?
Absolutely.
But like like I'm still learning, so I can't really, like, you know what I mean, like budge my way to the front or claim to be the person that I'm trying to be. I'm still looking for my sound. I don't really think I really have a sound yet, because I love great music. Whatever's good, whatever we like, whatever you like, you know what I mean, I like. It's just what's good to the ear, but I'm out here trying to figure things out still. But we always awesome. Learning, bro.
That's all. You're in one of the best spots you can be, because it's, especially as a musician, because it's like there's no limit to what you can create and who you can be. You know, it's like you're already yourself, obviously, at the
I'm
core.
already expressing myself.
But it's just like there's so many opportunities and different levels and just ways that you can go with just your life in general, your career, you know, whatever you want to do. And I can see it, you know. I see that, you know, you're kind of in the bag, you're peeping game, but I'm telling you, man, like, I don't want to disrespect you, dog, at all at what I'm about to say.
Yeah, go crazy.
But he gonna be better than you, I feel like, one day.
Bro, that's crazy you said that, because like there's so many times where we'd be like drunk, bro, like we'd be sauced, and him or like one of his friends would be like, bro, like if he got it, bro, you gonna get it, even, like, you know what I mean, like you just said, either gonna be better or just as good, like it's gonna be just as crazy, you know what I mean? And, like,
and I only say that at the end of the day because it's like it's you are fantastic, bro, and you're always gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
it's just I feel like with any younger brother, you know, I feel like, or sister or whatever, that younger sibling always, I feel like, has that advantage of being able to sit back
and learn from the older.
And Boss Dan knows, being one, you are the youngest, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, shout out the youngest.
My guy, hell yeah. Yeah, and like you can always learn. Like for me, my oldest brother was like a dozen years older than me, so like there was that weird so like so like there's that weird thing where like my brother goes to college and I'm like just going into kindergarten or first grade. So like some of those relationships are kind of weird, but at the end of the day, they're still like, you look up to them so much about what they do, and you always learn from what they do, and that you always just try to take everything. And I feel like I've learned so much from my siblings without them actually like saying anything to me, just like observing what they do or how they interact with not just like my parents, but other like figures like in our lives of just like family or friends or people we know around town or like from the area we grew up in, or when we go together like on vacation. Like you're always learning from them. Even now still, like my brother, who I probably talk to more now than I ever did when we were growing up, because now that we're adults, like we like text on a frequent basis. I still learn things from him all the time. I don't get to see them as much because they're back home on the East Coast, about 1,000 miles away. But there are still moments where I catch myself learning stuff from them on like not on a daily basis, not as frequently as when we live together, but you still learn from them on a whole lot. And not just like your actual siblings, like people who you spend so much time with that are have similar interests. You learn so much from those people, and without them being like, all right, here's a lesson for you, write this down. Like you just pick those up naturally, and that's just how we are. I feel like that's just how the human race is naturally, is always looking to learn, observe, adapt, improvise, and overcome like different problems. And like seeing someone else fail, you learn from that mistake and you kind of move forward with that, and not necessarily saying like you're watching everyone in front of you fail, but you're like just an example of like seeing how they handled it versus how you think you would handle it, and see if that would lead to a more successful outcome than how the previous person handled it.
Being able to bring having a whole perspective outside that you kind of like got to see in a movie in front of you, and then you get to apply it to your own version.
Yeah, for sure.
Always. Like I have my older brother's 5 years older. My little brother's 2 years younger. Yeah, 2 years younger. My older brother used to write raps that were super cool. And I thought the first time that like I tried writing songs and like I had saved raps of his on my phone, I was like, your lyrics are so much better than mine. I was like, I am absolutely just blanking in terms of like content. And so you take those things and you're like, well, if I'm gonna do anything, it's got to be better than this. So you like literally walk into that with it.
Can't let my little brother show me up.
Yeah, can't let my older brother be the better one. So that I'm the middle one.
Yeah,
but you always got somebody to look up to,
for sure. Yeah, and that's important, man, and that's why it's so important, for anybody as you get older to understand that, especially in a setting like this, or just as you get older. My point being is that like somebody's always watching, right? And it's like you really have to just understand that and carry yourself in a certain sense, because it's like if you're carrying yourself like a goofy and you're just saying whatever and just what just on some negative stuff, whatever, somebody's watching, whether it's your younger siblings, whatever, or maybe it's younger fans over here, we could be saying some vulgar stuff, whatever, it's like that we're influencing somebody as we're getting older, and I think just like cognitive, self-aware people and people that are especially being in positions of influence, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of people out here that fail to realize that and just doing a lot of goofy stuff. Just even if you're just walking down the street and just clucking, Kids are watching that. People are watching that, and you just, I don't know. We got to do better for our youth at the end of the day, I guess is my point. It's a general statement, but just an observation. You guys planning on being parents one day? Or are you just going to be rock stars? I'm just throwing out questions.
I was going to say, also,
I'm just throwing out questions. We're talking family.
Heck of a jump.
That's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. We've never really tackled that,
No, we've never tackled that. That's why I was just like, well,
why not?
I mean, we are on family, so I guess
family.
Transition.
I definitely want my bloodline to continue.
Yeah.
I don't want my bloodline to end with me. So
I mean, that's a hell of a thought, right? I mean, people don't think like that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with not having kids, but it's just like, that's your legacy of your family.
That's a good point. I never thought about it, the bloodline ending like that. I feel like, I mean, growing up in an Irish Catholic household, I feel like if you don't have children, then like you're gonna go to hell. I think that's what like an Irish Catholic household, you need at least 4 kids, like 3 or 4 minimum children, right? No, but I definitely have always imagined myself having children. I don't think there's been a time. And like it's funny because like my sister, who's 5 years older than me, she just moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, and my mother has been very adamant about wanting grandchildren. And my oldest brother has 2 daughters who are the cutest things, and like that's great. But at the same time, she's like she makes jokes all the time about like she's like, oh, mom wants me to have kids, and I just like laugh at generalities because like she's just like, I'm not even close to having that. And that's kind of just weird how like the different generations kind of work like that, like my parents. My oldest brother was born like before my mom was 30, I think, and like my sister just turned 30, so and she's not even thinking about it. So it's kind of weird how those different generations work. Like, of course, I would see myself with children, but I feel like our generation is like not wanting to have children like as soon as we're out of college. Like no, we're not having children at 21, 22, 23. I feel like more people are having them in their late 20s, 30s, like that like is when they're having their first children.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying that's necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's just like an observation.
Right.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely like want to learn who I am for sure. And going through university takes a minute, and then being able to fully put your endeavor or your energy into like what you want to make your purpose is very important. So like getting that like, oh, you want to be a rock star forever, like it's a cool question. It's a cool question to hear, but most definitely like I want to have the phases of life. In like it's not like I want to have my cake and eat it too, but like like people kind of live life pretty fast. It feels like we're living life pretty fast, like 2 generations ago. Now we got the internet, so it's like we're exposed to everything at every moment. We feel like we could become an expert in any field at any moment if we spent enough time down that rabbit hole. So like I know that I do want to continue the bloodline, and I want to make sure that I can share moments at a good age with like my children.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm not gonna give up my like endeavors, and like I want to make more core memories.
Yeah,
and like that only happens delving into the unknown, and I don't want to delve into the unknown with a kid. So
beautifully said, my friend. Beautifully
Well
said.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. You know, I mean, it's crazy because you know what Dan said in the sense of, you know, we're all our generation. We're getting older. You know, we don't want to have kids until we're a little older. But at the same time, it's like I feel like I know a lot of people that have been. I mean, I'm 26. Have been parents for 5-6 years or whatever already. You know, I know a decent amount of people. So it's gotta mix, but it goes to what you're saying is that at the end of the day, like obviously circumstances happen, and I mean I know a few, pretty much everybody that I know that had kids young are doing a amazing, fantastic job at being parents. So I want to shout out to all of y'all, man.
Shout out all them parents.
You know, because it's not easy being young. You know, it's not easy, and it's like. Ideally, it's what you say. You know, you want to have your stuff figured out. You want to have your own self figured out to the best that you can, and you definitely want to be able to be in a position where you can provide for that child and provide for those kids. You know, but it's like, I think love goes a long way. You know, and I've really seen that is that even in the worst circumstances, and you know, you may not have a lot of money. It's like at the end of the day, if like you love that kid, you know, and you want to be a parent, and you feel like you were meant to be a parent, I feel like you'll figure it out, you know. But you know, you got the other side of the coin where a lot of people just, whether they have kids earlier or later, whatever, they just don't want to be parents. You know, they feel like, oh, I just have to have kids just to have kids, or have it by accident, and you know, they don't. You know, we won't spark the whole debate, you know. But in terms of abortion, right? But at the end of the day, like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of parents out here that are failing their kids because they don't care about being a parent, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why you have a lot of insecure kids, or you have a lot of kids that are just, you know, don't know themselves because they weren't blessed with having an upbringing of love, you know? Having caring parents or caring guardians. So you go out thinking that the world hates you, you know, and doesn't care about you, and then you know, either you feel sorry for yourself and you make bad decisions, or you flip it and you take all that bad and turn it into something good, you know?
A lot of times it comes down to having like that one support, that like push, who will like be there and give you the okay, give you the thumbs up, give you the like, I'm proud of you. That like you need it at some point in your life to become like the best version of yourself. Because like, what's the line? The idle mind is a dangerous place to be, because it is. Like, if all you're doing is thinking, and you grew up in like, if you don't even have somebody that could give you that pat in the back, that hug, that something when you need support. Like, it's cold. Like, it's cold out there. So like, very much shout out those parents that are there. Shout out my folks for always being allowing to endeavor in uncertainty, in like music, you know, in the potential to make a name for yourself in something that's like all based on you. You know, like, don't have to force, like, you shouldn't have to like force any sort of outcome. And it takes love to be able to reach that, explore, be able to be yourself.
Yeah. Well said, man. Love is the key, ladies and gentlemen. Love is the key.
Yes.
For sure. How, Boss Dan, we got a beautiful shirt that says Grounds Crew on that right there. Beautiful text. How's that going for you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's hard. I don't work there as much now with the full-time gig, but when I do get there, like I worked both Saturday and Sunday last week. Sunday was tough with a little bit of a rain delay, but I still love going to the ballpark and being around just the fans and the people, and just like seeing everyone that I don't get to see as much. It's always a great time to see all those people, and I love it. I mean, the Cubs may be in last place, and they may not be anywhere near where they were in 2016. But I still love going to the ballpark every day and seeing all those people, and just being in the friendly confines and Wrigley Field. Like, you can't beat that. There's nowhere else I'd rather be working than in a baseball park, like on the field. So going there to me, like, for a weekend, a shift is like not the like worst thing in the world for me. Like I like, and there'll be like I talk to people at my 9 to 5 on Mondays through Fridays, and they're like, so what'd you do this weekend? And I'm like, oh, I worked both Friday and I both worked Saturday and Sunday. And they're like, you worked this weekend? Like, and I'm like, yeah, like and it's funny because I'm just like, I don't think of it as work sometimes. Just like what I'm doing, like hanging out with your friends, and like there is work, obviously there's things to do, but like a lot of the times you're just like, when you enjoy the work and you enjoy the people, it can be easier. And so just being in that atmosphere, I didn't never get sick of it, honestly.
Nice.
So, shouts out to the Cubs for playing at the Field of Dreams game. They were winning last time I checked.
Where is the Field of Dreams game?
Iowa. I'm trying to remember the exact city. It's somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, which is basically all of Iowa. Somewhere literally in the middle of cornfields. Have you seen the movie Field of Dreams?
Bits and pieces of it.
Watch it.
Sorry, Dan. Sorry,
but that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, it's on the Field of Dreams.
Yeah. It's funny because like the Field of Dreams field is like right there, and then they built an actual like MLB size stadium with like seating and like the scoreboard, like probably like 1,000 yards in deep left field. So like it's like you can see them both right there, and like they used like last year when they played, they had like shots of both fields, and it was really cool. But yeah, they were winning last time I checked. They just won. They won 4-2. So way to go, Cubs. They're not in last. They're not in last place because they're beating the Reds now. So good for you, Cubbies. Way to go.
Cubbers. Vino, the Bulls. How you feeling about them?
I got beef with ESPN saying that they're going to be the 8th seed
in
the East. That is absolute baloney. Absolute baloney. I stand with the thought that we were the best team in the East when we were healthy.
Yes,
we have a roster that is built to do a lot of things. Now, I really, really need to see Drummond be 29 years old.
Right.
Because this man has felt like he's in his late 30s for the last 2 seasons. And I need to make sure that he's really 29 and he plays like he's 29. Because he's got some young bucks that are very hungry to prove something right now.
Sure.
I'm a fan of Kobe White, and I feel either or he stays or if he's valuable, you know? Like, I would love to see him stay and take the next step.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Pat Williams and him needing to take the next step. Like, we just got pictures of him getting guarded by Paul George at these, like, infamous runs.
Right.
So, like, you know, there's hype. You start to feel like he's garnering respect. He's caused buzz around the league. People have talked about him actually being that athletic, defensive, and also offensive potential threat. Lonzo Ball. I love Lonzo Ball. I need him to be, and I believe he will be healthy. I believe he's going to be healthy at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Ball family, Chicago loves you. Just putting that out there, LeVar.
Sure.
But and Zach LaVine, I love Zach LaVine.
As do I.
He is statistically one of the most efficient shooters. He is the most efficient contested 3 shooter. Or like up there, you know, he's like top 5.
Yeah.
So it's like we got blessed with being able to see DeMar put on the performance he did this last season. Like him going on the podcast with Draymond and calling himself the ghost of Jordan. Like I'm a fan of that, and I want to see more of that be absorbed and take on that responsibility even more.
Sure.
And like DeMar, I think this season's going to be Zach's season.
I agree. I hope it has to be.
I think it's going to be Zach just going absolutely crazy, pushing to DeMar, just like pushing to DeMar when he needs the help.
Yeah.
But we're young and athletic, and we're going to stay healthy. And I say we're nothing less than the 5th seed.
For sure. If we're healthy, bro, we're a top 2 seed.
I think
top 3.
I would say I still respect Giannis.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to disrespect Giannis.
Respect Giannis.
And I'm not going to disrespect my man's boss Dan over here because I wouldn't say I was disrespectful, but I was definitely poking the bear for sure with the Boston Celtics all
Trouble
season last
in paradise there right now.
How so?
Jaylen Brown.
It's not happening.
No one's moving. It's all staying together.
It's nothing. It's all a hoax. It's fake.
It's fake.
Buzz there's a little nervous.
Don't get me wrong. I am nervous.
But it's a good situation.
But if Kevin Durant's like, I want to go to this team, then like as a GM, you'd be stupid to not actually
KD
inquire.
and Jason Tatum.
But like apparently like their asking price originally was Tatum and Brown, which is like, get out of here.
Stop
like
you wouldn't do that.
For Tatum and Brown for Kevin Durant. 30. What is he? 33 for 24 and 25. Yeah, I'll stick with the 24 and 25-year-old.
They lost to a bunch of old heads.
They lost to one of the best dynasties of the past 20 years.
I'm not going to disagree with that. But we're talking about players saying that they were clearly the better team, but they just got broken down in the end because Golden State was playing the more consistent basketball. That is being that is playing with chemistry. And I kind of agree onto the Bulls front. Like, I want to keep the team together so we can see more seasons of that continuity and see that build up. But we have seen Jason Tatum not be that guy in the playoffs multiple times. And Jaylen Brown reasonably upset with his name being put out there when no one was talking about trading him. And as soon as KD comes into the picture, KD is one of the best basketball players we're ever going to see.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love Kevin Durant. Like, he's one of my favorite players to watch ever. Because the man takes a jump shot and his hand's at the rim. I think it's going back to what you were saying. Like, I'd rather see us win with the group we have now than bringing in Kevin Durant to win a ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's where most of my love to want to keep them together is because I'd rather see that the core that we've grown from the Nets trading us all those draft picks. Thank you, Brooklyn. They want them back. That's totally understandable. But I want to see us win with that group because bringing in Kevin Durant just to win, get over that hump is it'll feel great to win a championship. But will I be as satisfied as if it wasn't with the homegrown products that we've kind of been growing with over these past 6 or 7 years, ever since Marcus Smart kind of came in? I don't think it'd be as satisfying, but at the end of the day, a championship's a championship, so what am I going to say? But, going against the Warriors, they had, the finals experience alone, I think, was 100 and something games to 0, and I think it was just a learning experience for them. I know Jason didn't play the greatest of basketball in the finals. I know Jaylen also made his bad moments, and so did Marcus. But I don't know. I just really love that group and the team that we have now. And I think at the additions that we did make of Brogdon and Danilo are going to be important for where this team does go next year. Sure. But then if you told me a year ago at this point that the Celtics would have made the finals, I would have been like, you're crazy. Yeah. What do you mean? It's going to be the Nets or the Bucks. That's who it is.
Yeah.
So it all really just depends on health. I think that's the biggest thing. Because I thought, and then when the Bulls first came out, I was riding the Bulls for a while. I was like, this team's going to be sick. This team's nasty. And then it's just all about health at the end of the day. It's just the healthiest team at the right time, and the hottest team and the healthiest team when the playoffs kind of start are the teams that kind of find their way through.
Absolutely.
So we can sit here and be like, the Bucks are going to do it, or the Warriors are going to repeat, or it's finally LeBron's time to win another ship with the Lakers, but it really just depends on health at the end of the day. Yeah. The best ability is availability, as always.
There was a news piece that came out today saying that in Kyrie's contract, he was saying that he should not be obligated to make full money and not have to play a minimum of 60 games. He doesn't need to play a minimum of 60 games, and he can choose not to play back-to-back nights. Now, we were talking before the show about 82-game seasons and Jordan doing that 8 times in his career and people getting to go see their favorites and do you get full money being the face of a franchise playing less than 60 games? I can't talk much. I love Zach LaVine. He's only played above 60 games.
But he's been injured.
Yeah, injured due to injury. Yeah. Kyrie has too. And he's, they want to put it into the load management category of keeping people right for the playoffs.
Right, yeah.
But How do we feel about that?
But that hurts when you go to watch the Lakers and LeBron's not playing, or you go to watch the Nets and Kyrie and KD are both out because they don't want to play a back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with you on that point that it's tough to see, and that's just kind of where the league is at now, where there's just so much load management and we got to save his legs for the playoffs, so he's not going to play the second game of a back-to-back, and like there's just not that, and it's kind of similar. Baseball's kind of going the similar way when like. Starting pitchers used to go 7, 8, 9 innings consistently in the 80s, 90s. Starting pitchers used to go complete games all the time. Now, for the example, the Red Sox had 3 pitchers go complete games, and there even like 10 years ago, you would have a team that threw 20 complete games by this time this year. So like, there's just so much more I don't know what the exact there is a connection there. I'm just trying to think of what the exact connection is.
Things like medicine advancing.
Yeah, and like the advanced medicine, the reading like, his muscles are degrading at this kind of rate, but if he sits out or if he only pitches this amount of innings or if he only plays this amount of games, then his arm or his legs will be this much better for when it comes playoff time. So it's probably all like the technology and the breakdown of the science and the medical and the electrolytes and whatever other atoms or molecules or chemicals they're coming up with nowadays to explain the amino acids and all that good stuff, all the science jargon that the sports science people and the physical therapists and I don't know how exactly got to that point, but I feel like it's not just basketball where that's happening. I feel like it's kind of through a lot of sports. Like baseball's definitely seeing it, and football's probably seeing it as well. With like, a lot of teams don't have like the one running back to kind of take every single carry. They have like 3 or 4 guys to hand it off to, or things like that. So. But I definitely agree with you that it is kind of weird because like if you pay to see that team, that hurts if that guy's not there. Like if I paid $50 to go, or probably not $50. If I paid $100 to go see LeBron and the Lakers and LeBron did not play, I'd be very, very upset. Yeah. And that's been trending over the past few years in basketball.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you think about all the kids at the end of the day, that nostalgic feeling of I'm about to see Steph Curry. You feel me?
Oh my God.
Man, it's just like I remember being a youngin' and just wanted like Kobe, I wasn't even a big like Lakers fan, but I always loved and I wasn't even the biggest Kobe fan. I always hated losing to Kobe, but I still always enjoyed watching Kobe Bryant play.
It comes huge in the situation when if your team is not good or you're a small market team, you're gonna see the big names like pretty much write you off, and they're not gonna play that game. They're going to take that game as the rest game, and like you said, you spent the money. You've been dreaming of this moment for months, even years. Sometimes when people get that ticket, and like it happened to me. I went to a Cleveland game when LeBron was on the Cavs, and I think it was a home game for the Bulls. He didn't play. We were just like a
scoundrel.
We were injured. Like we were injured. He didn't need to play. They still won the game. So it's just like. Us. And I was salty. I was incredibly salty because I wanted to see LeBron play. I really wanted to see LeBron play. I never have gotten to see LeBron play, and I've gone to. No, I didn't. I've only been to the United Center when he was there on the Cleveland Cavaliers. But my favorite moment ever was getting to go see OKC versus the Bulls back when KD and Russ both played, and Rose was playing. Nice. Nothing like it. Wow. That's like my favorite Chicago Bulls moment. Yeah. I think we won like 97, 91, sitting in like a corner seat. Like pretty close, like 200 section corner seat right there. I was so ecstatic. Yeah. KD, we won. Rose did some heroics at the end of the game. KD was just as majestic as always. Yeah. Like that's what I wanted to see. And like that's a team. Those are 2 teams that were really like fighting at the moment. But like us Bulls, not until last season, like we would go to games and just not have the stars play.
For sure.
Like
for sure.
You want that. You want to see those games.
Yeah. And bro, man, you just took me back. The United Center in the D Rose era was different. I mean, he never got to experience Michael Jordan in that Bulls era, but I mean, just D Rose, dude, it was like when you hear from Chicago, like, it was just a different energy. The whole place just lights up. Bro, I was lucky enough to be there when he received his MVP trophy. Oh. Yeah, bro. It was crazy. It was just like the whole place was just locked in on him, and he's up there and he's got, he's just you just felt like the whole city had won at that moment right there. You know,
Yeah.
he's just like, he's showing it up, giving it to the city, and it was just like,
It's beautiful.
and then of course I think we lost to LeBron, but maybe I don't remember. I think we did. But still, yeah, just being at a game and D Rose is playing, and it's just his quickness, man, like his strength, like literally what Stacey King would say, like too big, too fast, too strong, too good. I mean, just like witnessing that, being there, and it's just like, man, that dude was special, man, for real. And
I got to see him. That game was post his first injury, so like I got to see Rose like post the first ACL, and like I always loved watching the Westbrook Rose matchup on TV. Like they go at
back
it.
then
They
it was,
never didn't go at it. Like they had something to prove. They were both athletic guards. They wanted to have that fight. Rose won that night. Limited Westbrook very, very short. Like he did not have a good night, and I was like still in awe because like you watch the highlights. Like I probably watch a D Rose like the Windy City Assassin highlights like once every other month.
Wow.
And it's like you look at it in video, and like I got to see Rose post injury still trying to play at his full speed, and I was like, it's still a blur.
Yeah.
Like he's still a blur. So like I look right now to like John Morant as like that athletic freak in the league, that like type of player. And it's like you want to keep him healthy at all costs because it's something like we are seeing the end of Westbrook, you know, like the end of his athletic kind of like point. I don't want to like trash on Westbrook.
His career's
Still,
over.
He's a dog. He's a dog. But it's like, we're starting to see the end of like the athletic
past the peak,
freak point. And it's like Chicago had theirs in D Rose. Like OKC had Westbrook. Now he's on the Lakers.
Ours was cut way too short.
Ours was cut super short, and to still even have that battle, like see it live. I was just left in awe.
Absolutely,
it was just crazy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to those times, and going back to what we were saying earlier of appreciating those moments is like in the moment, you know, of course you're enjoying it and whatnot, but you're not thinking in that moment. No one would, right? You're not thinking in that moment like, damn, like in 10 years I'm gonna be like reminiscing on this, you know.
Right.
So it's just like that's why it's so important as we get older to just really like stop and just soak it in, you know, and enjoy it. That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's exciting. That brings me back. Boss Dan, how do you feel about the number 6 for everybody in terms of Bill Russell?
I love it. I love it. I mean, I think we talked about it. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? We were talking about it. No, it was last week because Rio was here. I remember. Yeah, man. I mean, just it's amazing because basketball's hasn't ever done a retired number across the league before. Because hockey has 99, baseball of course has 42, and football doesn't have a number yet. But I mean, they have so many numbers that it probably doesn't matter. But like to see the league recognize for the greatness of Bill Russell, and like we said last week, not just what he did on the court, but everything he did off the court. And like I said last week, being like doing all that in a city like Boston in the 50s and 60s, which is not necessarily the most welcoming places for a man that is not white. For him to kind of stand up for himself and to still not let that bother him a whole lot, and still wanting to prove himself as a man and as a leader on and off the court is something that I think every athlete should continue to strive for and continue to emulate his greatness and his willingness to make a change in the world, not just in those 92 feet on the hardwood, like and being making a difference in your community. And I think that's why there's so much more importance on the 6. It's not just for the things he did on the basketball court, but everything he did off. So I appreciate the league for doing that, and I think I was a little shocked because I didn't think they would do it, but to see them do that is really cool, and yeah, it's just amazing to see them do that.
Word. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I appreciate it. I'm a fan of it. I haven't seen all the highlights. I know that Bill Russell put in a ton of community work in, and for the area that he was playing in, it is nobody, forces that or is like thinking about like media and just like being in spaces and, you know, having the cameras on you. Like, he was doing that in a crazy time in Boston and still putting up crazy numbers in the league. So I totally respect that. Yeah, I think it's great. Players getting grandfathered in.
Yeah. Right.
Makes sense. They did baseball did the same for 42, so it makes sense. They're not going to be like, "Hey, you got to change your number now." Yeah. It's like a where to kind of respect them still, just to honor them. So
will they put the number up in everyone's rafters?
That's the question that I'm curious about, because I don't think they do it for hockey. I don't think every arena has a 99 like put up everywhere. Baseball, most baseball teams have retired numbers, so there is 42s all around. Because baseball is the oldest sport, and I love it so much because it's so old. So like they have, like most teams have retired numbers, and 42 can be seen all over the place. I don't think hockey does it. I'd be surprised if basketball did it, because like they would probably, knowing the NBA, they would make like a banner that everyone would put up, like the same banner for everyone. And like I feel like it's gonna be, if they do it, it's gonna be a while before they like make that banner, or like they come up with something, you know.
I'm thinking like the last 2 sixes for the Bulls are Alex Caruso right now, and then Christian Felicio. So like, dude, like Felicio. Obviously you wouldn't put the players past with the number, but I'm like, I would like to see the number respected in some way, shape, or form.
Retire that Felicio jersey.
Yeah, Felicio's in the rafters.
It's in the rafters. That's funny, man. Well, gents, we've had a lot of laughs. We've had a lot of fun over here on Northside Plugged.
Yes.
As he was saying that, I was in my own head. I literally went, "Who's the last Celtics to wear number 6?"
Dummy.
Like I thought about it, and I was like, "Wait a second."
Yeah, boy.
I'm actually going to see if there's anyone who wore 6 after him, because now I am curious. No one wore 6 after him. Okay, so
it's like the unofficial retiring of one for the Bulls with Rose.
Yeah,
where he will have his number retired officially. I'm sure when he's done.
Ain't nobody putting on number 1 in the Bulls uniform, bro. If they are, they're disrespectful, bro.
Very disrespectful. There's only one Windy City assassin.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, even though there's no ladies here, but there's maybe the ladies watching.
There's always ladies watching.
There's always ladies watching Boss Dan. Absolutely. No,
really?
They are.
Really?
They are Boss Dan. Absolutely. So, Eve, we appreciate you guys coming in, telling your story.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all for the invite.
Of course,
for having us.
Of course,
absolutely.
This has been very great, very fun.
Absolutely. We're not done yet. We're not. We're just wrapping it up. We've got another 2 hours over here on Northside.
Excuse me.
You ladies and gentlemen didn't know that we're here gonna be doing a 24-hour episode of Northside Plugged. So
really,
no one told me that.
No, we're not. That'd be crazy if we were.
You have guests come in and out throughout the entire thing.
I would hope that one day we could do that. I would be up for the challenge of just see how long we can go on an episode of Northside Plugged. Just have people roll up like
set it up like block it up hourly, have events and stuff just like happen.
Have performances while we go like take a power nap in the corner or something.
Hey, we gonna do that. Y'all heard it here first on Northside Plugged.
We're gonna have a rock band on while we take a nap.
John, if you listening, we're gonna rent a whole day over here at Q4 soon. We're just gonna it's gonna be an NSP takeover day. That's dope. But until then, I want to give you guys the floor, and if there's just any other things that you're anticipating that you want to promote, any shout outs to your peoples, you want to give links. I know you gave your website, which I checked out, by the way, is actually very cool and
thank you.
Organized.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is your time to do whatever you want to do.
Couple things that we definitely want to plug. Of course, Eve, Earn Vision Entertainment. You got us here, Cujo, Dito. We are kind of like the faces of it, but we've got music that came out from our whole team in the Earn Vision mixtape earlier this year. Me personally, Eve Vino. I dropped my first songs in 2021. At the start of this year, I dropped Let Me Know, which is more of an acoustic vibe. We just dropped with Also Be Jody, Be On My List, which is Be On My List all summer. That's kind of like the flavor we're going for. We got that summer energy kind of just shooting right now. Of course, in November we were talking about that like moody tape. Sure. That's gonna be for me. Yeah. But aside from like working on my stuff, we're cooking up and we're working and collaborating with, you know, genuine talent around the city.
Nice.
We've been talking Swanks in the corner.
Swank.
We got some tracks coming with Swank. Quick shout out for Swank. He said Talk to Me Nicely come out today.
Yup.
We're in the music video.
Yup.
So
Swank
peep that, check that out.
Go check it out.
Shout out Mickey
sir.
C. So like
Mickey.
just the community.
Yeah.
Like check out Eve, check out Eve Dito, check out Eve Vino, check out Eve Cujo. See our website, our Instagrams. Follow us on IG. Yeah, keep up to date. Tap in.
What was that website again? I'm gonna put it in the
earnedvision.com.
Earned Vision.
Shout out Canva.
Shout out Canva, true. And shout out for Pedro for complimenting me on my shirt. I appreciate it, my brother.
Nice.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you guys coming over here as we always do with our new NSP guests. We knight thee as new NSP family members.
Thankful.
Absolutely. So as you know, as we continue to grow and do our thing, you know, you guys are a part of what we do, and you know, we're hoping to eventually start being able to throw our own events and just getting out with the community more, you know.
I want to use that stage behind me. That thing is beautiful.
True. Absolutely. Well,
I walked into this room and just felt the glow of the light in here, and I was just like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Like, this just feels right.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple ideas brewing possibly for this year, so I'll definitely keep you in the loop for that, for sure. Because, we got to utilize this space to its full potential.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we're doing our thing on the radio, you know. Cujo, Dido, were there any final words that you guys wanted to say?
I mean, basically just follow us, you know, on our, you know, social medias. I'm mainly on Insta, so _Eve Dito, you know the vibes. Also, projects coming out very soon. You got Vino's projects coming. Another person we've been working a lot with also be Jody, and just people within Eve. So Draysky, you know, Elijah, we got all types of people, all different vibes,
Different flavors.
yeah, and then collaborations. We're free to collab with anyone, you know.
Nice.
And I mean, like you said, we want to stay connected with the community. So
yeah,
anything to bring us together, I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
Hit him up.
Young brother.
I don't really got much to say, but just peep out the project that's coming out. One of the beats on the project is gonna be by me, mixed and mastered by Dito right here.
Yeah,
and I'm excited for what's to come.
Well said.
Blessed
as am
to
I.
be here. Thank you.
Yes.
Of course. We're thankful for you guys for coming out. Always a great time, and we appreciate you now being part of the family. And this won't be the last time we see y'all in here, for sure.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Want to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Of course.
When the bull season starts, we got to talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a heated season for sure, man.
I'm going to be on edge.
It's gonna be heated.
It's
Absolutely.
gonna be great. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I also, real quick, I didn't get a chance to really shout out to Cujo. Last week and a half or whatever, we shot with Swank, all the boys, but Cujo got behind the camera, and shot some of the. I'm not gonna say the name of it, but we shot a music video, and you. I was editing some of the footage, and you did really well. So I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
talented boys at this table.
Talented gents over here doing great things. So again, shout out to Eve, shout out to Evie. Adali Garcia says, "Heart Cujo."
My girl, thank
okay,
you.
we see you.
We see you. Awesome.
Shout out my girl if you're watching.
We all take it.
Hope you
here.
watching.
Nice. No, yeah. Shout out to all the ladies. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Shout out to everybody that's showing love to us. Again, shout out to Eve. Shout out to Swank Sinatra for being in the building and just vibing it out with us. Always a pleasure. Yeah, give him a round of applause.
Round of applause. What a job by Swank in the corner.
Good job by Swank. Just chilling, doing his thing. Absolutely.
Feel that.
It has. So thank you, Boss Dan the Man over here to my left.
Of course.
I am G Money G Note.
Thank you, G Money.
There's Hema.
Thank you.
Shout out Hema.
Shout out everybody.
Thank you, G Money, and shout out Hema.
Shout out Hema. And shout out to John. Shout out to Irvin. Shout out to everybody at Q4. Shout out to all the programmers doing y'all things.
Oh yeah.
The radio life is fun. We enjoy it. Real quick. Hopefully I say this right. Gema Tinoco says.
Hema Tinoco.
She said, Hema. She says, "Oh, I'm watching. Proud of you guys. Thank
That's
you,
my girl.
I'm proud
Thank
of
you.
Shout out. There you go. That's what's up.
Proud of you.
We hit all the points over here on Northside Plugged tonight. So yes. So let me ease us out with some final music from Eve, and we will ease out the right way. Yes.
New song.
So thank you, everybody. This is Northside Plugged. We're at
Love
Q4
you guys.
Radio.
Thank you for tuning in. We love you guys so much.
Yeah.
Peace.
Love y'all.
Oh no.
What happened?
What happened to the music? Why did it pause?
I don't know. What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Oh,
How
no.
could you do this? I guess you're going to have to stay another 2 hours with
Be
us
on
on this
my list,
Northside Plug Extravaganza.
We're going to redo the whole thing. Welcome to Northside Plugged. Thank you for being with us this evening.
There we go.
We got a great show lined up for you guys.
Ooh-wee.
Psych.
See ya.
Energy.
Baby, deep sea diving your waters. I'm changing the current, I go catastrophic. I'm toxic, I'm atomic. We can't be friends, baby, unless you bring in a friend, baby. I'm a man of many options, baby. I can't pretend, baby. I'm taking that home with me, like I'm still in third base. I'm giving you headaches the way I wanted your mind. She got that waterfall, clap on, clap off. Every time she put that faucet on me, I tell her I'm thirsty, drown on me. Just drown on me.